Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. Right, very good morning to you all. Post-fight, didn't watch the fight last night, just finished watching the highlights of it, and fight more or less went the way I expected it to go. These are reasons why I think the fight was made in Alexandra Palace and in Ryder's backyard. But give me some time to explain the whole situation out in my perspective. Okay, look, boxing, as we know, for the most part, when you look at a fight, you see two guys in the ring fighting. You look to see who's been the most aggressive fighter, the guys that landed the other fighter, the guys made them miss and make them pay. You know, especially going to points, looking to see who's landed the most punches over a fight, who's been more aggressive. Some guys score fights on just bare aggression. A guy can just come marching forward for 12 rounds, chucking punches, even if he's missing punching shots have been blocked and slipped. They'll win a fight on that. Other guys will win a fight by simply making a guy miss, making him pay. So it's just what you like. In America, they score for aggression, blah, 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 blah. And there was a story coming into this fight for me before the fight was even announced. You know how I feel about Danny Jacobs. Danny, glad to be here, Jacobs. I said to, I think, was it Brian? Barry Ryan, one of our viewers. I said to him, I was playing FIFA. He said to me, "You watching the fight?" I said, "No, because I know what Danny Jacobs is like. He's just glad to be here. He's just glad to be fighting." And after he fought Golovkin, I thought, well, okay, he did okay against Golovkin in a fight. I thought you wouldn't get knocked out by Golovkin, but I think it's a fight that you can win against Golovkin. And I had a little faith in Golovkin after that fight against Jacobs. I thought, well, he'll do better against Canelo. He put on worst performance against Canelo. I thought, you know what, I'm never going to watch Jacobs fight again. And then for some reason, I watched him fight Rosado. That was garbage. And I just said, that's it. No more Jacobs for me. As for John Ryder, I said he'd beat Callum Smith because I thought all Callum Smith does is when he gets the ropes, he puts his arms up. So I thought as soon as John Ryder backs him up, puts him to the ropes, he's going to pin him there and keep pressuring him and beat him. That's what I thought. And the judges went for Callum Smith, obviously, because this is a business. He was unbeaten at the time, Callum Smith. And, he had world honors. He had that tournament and all the rest of it. So they were building for a super fight or a big fight for Callum Smith. There was no money in John Ryder. Absolutely no money in John Ryder. So at the John Ryder versus Canelo fight, then, when you could add Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders, more established fighters, more world champ. They're both world champions, more. That's my cam. What's going on my cam? Oh, dear me. Hold on. What is going on here, my camera? my sound went. Sorry. Oh, I'm so pissed. So I was just saying, where was I? Sorry, let me go back on this. Where was I? Sorry. So where was I? Yeah, thanks for the invite. I have to go back and repeat everything I said. I'm sorry. So you've got to see, I don't know where I was, but you had Jacobs, you had Saunders and Smith, both fighters there that, were in the, I'm going to repeat myself a bit just to catch up. And so my apologies for the muting. Both fighters there were in the sweepstakes for Canelo. Both guys, I said, were out to pasture. I said, Canelo, we're going to bring him in and beat the crap out of them. Danny Jacobs, 35 years old, marketability, down the drain. He doesn't fight with any passion. And as soon as Ryder hit him on the chin, it was like, you know what? I don't really want to be here. Danny, I don't really want to be here. Jacobs, that's the kind of way I saw it. 35 years old. There's no sort of long-term got a plan with Jacobs. Whereas with Ryder, we're kind of summarizing what I said. With Ryder, there's still a chance for him to fight for a WBA vacant title and against some Eastern European we've never heard of, or some guy that's faded, and he can get a shot at the world title and maybe win a world title. So there was no way in hell that Danny Jacobs was going to come to Alexandra Palace against Ali Pally that I used to go to as a little boy. Not too far from Ali Pally's Muswell Hill, and I had some great nights there. I used to play at North London Cricket Club, and on a Friday night to go to the club, Saturday night, play Saturday evening, finish the cricket, shower, get back up to Muswell Hill, party again, and Sunday the same thing. So yeah, Muswell Hill, local to Alexandra Palace, nice area, nice cinema, well-to-do area. Yeah, sort of place where you put a Waitrose, Anyway, so I digress. So Ali Pally with a North London boy against Danny Jacobs. Come on. That just looked to me that you're getting set up here, son. You're really getting set up here. It's like fighting a guy from New York City in New York Town Hall, and you're the local lad, and there's an American coming over to fight, a Brit coming over to fight you. Come on. So there's a bit of home seasoning there. And of course, HEARN has to balance things up after what happened with him against Callum Smith, right? So that's where I saw it. Danny Jacobs deserved every ounce of what he got last night. And I wished John Ryder knocked him out. Controversial. There's no controversy. What is the controversy? It's these people that come out and say controversy, they're talking at their ass. How can it be controversial? The fight is in London. The fight is in Alexandra Palace. Ryder is from North London. Promoter Eddie Hearn has no interest in Danny Jacobs anymore. We've seen Jacobs fight against Golovkin. We've seen Jacobs fight against Canelo. So what's the controversy? There is no damn controversy, right? The controversy should be, why is Jacobs fighting Ryder in North London in the first place? If you want to go, it's controversial. It's just stuff people talking for talking's sake. There's nothing controversial about that fight. Yeah, you could say the scoring was, you could favor it in Jacobs' favor, but Jacobs being the away fighter fighting in Ryder's backyard, and you're going to fight as if, you're glad to be here. You're on holiday. You're paid to be a fighter. You're paid. There was no urgency in Ryder's fire. So I'm not riding in Jacobs and fire. I'm saying so. That's the way I saw the whole thing. And down the stretch, you could see that Ryder physically was stronger than Jacobs. So at 35, I don't know how much Jacobs has got left. So I've always questioned his desire. Can you hear me now, though? I hope you can hear me now. See what he says. Jacobs hard done by 41 to fight. That hard done by what? Mate? He ain't hard done by. If you go and fight in one gear, and you go away from it, it's not hard done by. Keep quiet, man. I suppose Canelo on British shores will be a spectacle for the Ryder fight. There you go. Can you see that being built there? Can you see that being built there? Particularly if Ryder were to win a version of WBA title, Canelo could spin to the UK and fight Ryder in a fight that you'd think he would win. Ryder Canelo, you laugh. But if you understand the mentality of this promoter and what he's put on previously, it's to be expected. You've got to understand history. If you know your history, you have a better understanding of what's coming. So you can kind of see this happening. Wow, an American. Well, there you go. Jacobs has never fought outside states till this fight. What a fight to take first fight away. There you go. That's nothing controversial in that. Fisher, I don't care about Fisher. Moving on. There's always you have to bring this irrelevant information. So yeah, that's it really. There's no. As far as I'm concerned, there is no controversy. It is what it is. You know, you go to America. I mean, I don't understand. If you get a British fighter and he goes abroad, he fights. You say, oh, you know, he's lost the fight unless he needs a knockout to win. That's before the guy steps through the ropes. We know that. We accept it as boxing fans. Or if we go, a fighter goes and fights in Germany, we expect it that you know, you have to knock the guy out to get a win. You know, that's why people were surprised that Fury went to against Klitschko and beat Klitschko. They must have hate Klitschko over there. The Germans must have hate Klitschko because I don't understand how Klitschko, reigning champion for so long, was able to allow Tyson Fury to beat him on points in a fight that, if you go back and look at the fight, Tyson Fury didn't do that much more than Klitschko. But it's the magnitude of the fight at the time that got everybody, wow. If you go back and look at the fight again, well, you know, he didn't do that much. Didn't do that much. And I've seen guys that have put on stellar performances. Robin Reed fought Sven Otka. Didn't give him the decision there. But he did a better job out there. So, I mean, it is boxing for you. That's an Eddie Hearn. This is an Eddie Hearn fight. And know this. The memo is the same. Matches over and over again. Yeah, well, that's it. That's what it is. So there is no controversy. There is no controversy. See, it's these people who are so far Eddie's ass that it's dark and they didn't forget to bring a torchlight with them. So every so often I've got to shine a torchlight up there, but their heads are so big and full of ego, they can't see the light. So they constantly come up with the same rubbish all the time. You know, look at the package. Forget looking at the man. Look at the package. Look at the crap that's put on. You look at it for what it is. Just look at it for what it is, right? It's not like, you know, the card's full of mismatches. You know the card is full of mismatches. Another one, Felix Cash. Never thought he was great. Decent fighter. Like I've said about this Matchroom stable or unstable. Take that, a lot of fighters who are decent fighters. And when you've got decent fighters, the key for you is matchmaking. You've got to keep your fighters looking good. And at the same time, you've got to move them the world rankings. So you've got to pick fighters, like they do with Conor Benn, pick fighters that are going to make your fighter look good and build that pay-per-view I won't say resume. Resume is the wrong word. Profile. So you become pay-per-view worthy. Or if not pay-per-view worthy, you look like you could become pay-per-view. That's what you want to be doing. You know, but there's no point looking at a card, celebrating the promoter, look at the graphics of the card and going, yeah, fights. And then you know the mismatches going in. You watch the fights and then you go after, oh, there's a load of mismatches. It is what it is going in. So there is no controversy. There is no controversy. The controversy is if you took Jacobs and Ryder off and you put on Billy Joe Saunders versus I don't know, Billy Joe Saunders comeback fight, and he didn't show the fight at all, and it said it was behind closed doors, that would be controversial. So we can't bring the Saunders fight tonight, it's behind closed doors. That would be controversial. Because didn't expect it on the card, it was there, and then they said to you that he's fighting, but you can't see the fight behind closed doors. That would be controversial. But this is not controversial. Sorry, don't get it, don't understand. Mismatch is worse than when Eddie was with Sky. Talking mismatches, Conor versus Van Heerden, bad mismatch where you see it's coming. Remember, they are doing exactly now. They're building the profile of Conor Benn the way they should do with all their other fighters. So Conor Benn is getting that favorable treatment. Is it because he's smashing it in the gym? Is it because Conor Benn's smashing it in the gym? Is it because he's got Olympic pedigree? Or is it because his old man's Nigel Benn? And if Eddie don't do the right thing, he'll put his fist straight through him. Think about that a second. What has Conor Benn got done to get preferential treatment? He's going to get another fight, preferential treatment. But I assure you, these fights that he's getting are not helping his cause. He'll be fighting these guys and banging these guys over who will wash up over the hill, well past the sell-by date, retired. You ain't seen him for years, right? And then when he comes up against a genuine guy who is fresh and hungry and smashing in the gym as well and can punch a bit, that's it. That is the end of Conor Benn. All the Conor Benn that a lot of people are being built up, but they're doing the profile thing right. God. Hold on. Hold on. Right, what I did, my problem is I've bought this USB holder, which holds like 4 kind of like connections. But for some reason, it keeps knocking out my camera. So my apologies for that. That's all. Very little difference in quality in the last few of Conor's opponents. Yeah, because they're building that profile. They want to try and make Conor pay-per-view. Has Queensby or Boxer got anyone for Jacobs rebuild for his second world title? Guessing DAZN going to drop him like a bad habit. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. It's like Danny Jacobs, I'm afraid to say, is like when I told you about Michael Hunter. All these guys who don't have profiles, I think they're better because they can box and they have no profile. This is what happens to them. So Jacobs is another one. Look where Michael Hunter's been frozen out now. Who cares about Michael Hunter now? Nepotism, unfortunately, he will end up like AJ in regards to mental capacity. There's a reason Conor Benn hasn't fought a puncher yet. Yep. There you go. There is. Again, mark my words. And this is a guy that I introduced people to BWTM Sports. Edgar Berlanga. Remember I had Berlanga on the channel? And I warned you all, Belanga's got this. He's got a dodgy chin. And you saw it in his last fight, 8 times he got dropped. Now he's fighting Steve Rolls. That's a perfect example of how a guy has got great personality and punching power, but might not have the greatest defense and the greatest chin. So they've got to avoid him against punches. So they've still got to build that momentum, right? That's what they're doing with Conor Benn. They know his chin's not the greatest. He's smashing in the gym, and he's probably getting smashed in the gym as well, getting chinned in the gym. So he's got to keep saying, he's smashing in the gym. I'm doing great numbers. I usually say those things because now we've got to cover up everything else. But we know what his chin is about. What's this? Thought there was an SG in Lagos, 5G in Lagos, mate. I swear you've got a screw loose. I said my USB port. I've got a full USB port, and I stuck my camera in that, and that's the reason why it kept cutting out. But I fixed it now. Do you believe they won't fight Adesanya because he's not a name or he's dangerous? He's dangerous. He can punch. He's European champion. And why would you want to get chinned back? Why would you want to get chinned by him? The fight he needs to fight is Josh Kelly. That's the fight Conor Benn needs to be fighting. When these people get hit, they crumble. But Conor Benn style gets knocked out, hence facing powder puff punches. There you go. Well, you see it. So you see how the profile is being built here. So there's no controversy. There's no shock upset. That is what it is. very decent fighters. Maybe a world-class salesman with decent products. That's what it is. But doesn't know how to maneuver them. That's how I see it. Of course, Ben Kelly's a good fight. So that's the way I kind of see it. I don't get caught up in all the controversial. No. Just look at that. Look at the DAZN or look at the Matchroom roster. How many of those guys do you really think A, are pay-per-view stars, B, are genuinely world class, and C, will get managed correctly? I would pay to see Ben versus Broner, though. The build-up would be comical, especially in Britain. Yeah, but you see why they want Broner now. Broner's inactive. But I tell you, if Broner can land a nice, clean one on the chin of Conor. See, the thing with Broner is he's not a bona fide welterweight. He's not. Broner's career, and this is coming from somebody who used to spar regularly with Broner. That was, if you go, he's in my documentary I did when Carson Jones came to the UK to fight Ted Cheeseman. So I was working with him, did some pad work with him in the gym. And he was the guy that jumped in and when Floyd Mayweather Sr. was sparring with was that Charlie, that crazy guy, dude, YouTuber, and he took liberties, and then the guy jumped in the ring and chinned him, that jumped on top of him. That's the guy I'm talking about. But yeah, he sparred Broner, and he knows Broner, and he knows Ryan Garcia. And those guys, because they're all in this move around together, that he said that Broner's got found that when he moved to welterweight because he just couldn't be bothered to train hard. So he just moved his body up to welterweight. But what he is that physical strength he has at lightweight, where he's bullying guys and can sit back and then in the later rounds land combinations and hurt guys. As he moved up to welterweight, he couldn't do that because the welterweights were coming from middle, super middle, physically stronger. So that punching power didn't have the same effect. So he couldn't lean back, and then he started getting bullied as a welterweight. Hence what you saw against Marcus Maidana. So he's not a natural welterweight. You have to understand that about Broner. He's not a natural welterweight. And you saw when a real physically strong welterweight did just beat him up. Broner faced Porter. He's got power, man. He clipped him in one shot. It was a flash knockdown. He clipped him in one shot. People talk about the fight. Clipped him in one shot in the 12th round. Flash knockdown. It doesn't matter who you are. If you get hit on the nerve, you go down. That doesn't necessarily mean he's got punching power. It means he hit with pressure at the right point and dropped Porter. Porter wasn't significantly dazed or hurt. Crawford's got power because you saw what happened when Crawford dropped Porter. Difference. Can Conor Ben fight for world title without going through Ennis or Ortiz? Okay. Again, Boots Ennis, another one we've had on this channel. In fact, the first half on this channel. Boots Ennis, I'll say you again, is a decent fighter. Just like Virgil Ortiz, decent fighter. But problem with Boots Ennis is like Gerard Anderson. They're both guys that when they're attacking, they leave holes in their defense. And they leave their chin up in the air when they're attacking. And Ennis has not really fought anybody yet proven for all this praise he's getting. So the verdict's out for me on Boots Ennis. Good fighter. But I don't jump on his he still hasn't got for me. He hasn't done what is required of him. Even Devin Haney, another good fighter, for me, is still very vulnerable to me. He doesn't have the greatest pair of whiskers. After about 4 or 5 rounds, 6 or 7 rounds, he seems to slow down and leave himself open to getting hit with big shots. So David Haney doesn't really convinced me either. He's another one of those guys. Haney, Ennis, even Ortiz is the big puncher he is. You had a fight recently, not too long ago, and you struggled in that fight. I think, you need a few more fights before I can start saying to you, yeah, you are, you're someone really seriously to be considered. But I take them guys more seriously than Conor Benn. Do you understand? Charlie Zelenoff, yeah, that's it. Charlie Zelenoff, that's the one. Spence Ugas, what are you thinking, Ingram? I'm thinking I need to get in touch with Derek James. I wish him a happy new year. We spoke a bit on the Instagram. I need to catch up with him, old Derek. And Derek, if you're watching, shout out to you. Again, it's like we're here again. It's the same feeling I had when Danny Garcia fight. We haven't seen Errol Spence in ages. We just didn't know what was going to happen when Errol Spence arrived when he fought. And on that night, he looked really good. He beat Danny Garcia like, he beat him bad. So, we'll see what he does. But if he's anything off the pace, you guys could cause an upset for sure. It's crazy how Ryder won that. No, it's not. It's not crazy. John Ryder is from North London. North London or Alexandra Palace is in North London. Danny Jacobs, 35 years old, past it, no future in terms of world title aspirations, no future. And John Ryder can be promoted, never fought for a world title. It's not crazy. It's called boxing business. That's boxing business. If you're a boxing fan, it's crazy. If you're into the boxing business, it is just business being done. Ryder is the commodity now. Jacobs has been used and abused now. That's it. He's finished. Forget Jacobs. Push him on. Jacobs now is a journeyman. That's the way they see him. You might not see it that way as a fan, and I respect that. But in the boxing business, he is a journeyman now. And he only fights in one gear. And now he's there for the taking against a real puncher. I think Jacobs could have got knocked out last night. But I think if it's going to happen, it'll happen second half of the fight. Spence taking tough fights after long left. That's Spence for you. You want to see Billy Joe Saunders return? Not really. Not really. But I do want to see him against Eubank. So I can see that fight. I love how he boxes, but has nowhere to go, really. Just a grudge match with Eubank with no titles. I'm unsure about it. Just feels like the fans are getting milked if it happens. Yes. But the eyes are opening. You can see it, right? But don't worry. Let the fight be announced. And people say, oh, I want to see that fight. Fight will be announced. And then the complaints say, Saunders, who's he fought? Eubank. He fought great recently. He flipping fought against Liam Williams. So you're going to get that. So in some ways, I kind of wish that Eubank had done a number on Williams, like knocked him out. Because then they'll say, all right, Eubank knocked out Williams. Let's see what he does against Saunders. So let's see what's left of Billy Joe Saunders in this next fight, if he fights again. Will he impress with Felix Cash opponent, Madved? Looked sharp early, but faded quite badly. I'm sure you were impressed with him. I told you I don't rate Felix Cash. He's another one of these guys. Let me change what I'm saying. It's not I don't rate Felix Cash. He's not a guy that I can sit and say, like, there's certain guys I watch and say, you know what? I want to watch this guy move from British common. I think he's got the capacity to move from British to world champion, pretty smoothly. I didn't see that in him. And doing a sort of Eastern European coming over unbeaten. I think he's unbeaten. When I saw that wasn't a good sign for me. I didn't like it. And then I'm watching and I'm hearing Barry Ryan telling me that Cash got dropped, and I don't know. I don't know. A lot of these guys, I don't know what they're doing outside the gym. And you always wonder to yourself, when these guys talk about they've had issues outside the gym, whether he cut weight quick, which is why he got dropped in that fight. I don't know. All those things I have to consider. It could be a fun fight to watch. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Anything else we want to talk about quickly before I disappear? This is going to be a short one. Danny Jacobs, glad to be here. I had it 8-4, but I'm happy for Ryder. Jacobs only had himself to blame, as always. Women's boxing. Yeah, Clarissa Shields against Marshall. Looking forward to that fight. Serrano versus Taylor. Looking forward to that fight. There were some fights on last night. It was a fight on last night. I didn't see all of it. And there's certain girls I want to see. Natasha Jonas is fighting. I want to see her fight. See how she does. Stepping up in weight. I want to see how she does. I'm excited in that as well. Of course, Jessica McCaskill. Love Jessica McCaskill. And there's a few others as well I like watching as well. The girl that beat up Terry Harper into the Phantom Zone. I want to see her fight again. I think she's now signed by Matchler as well. So yeah, that's it. I mean, anything else that comes to mind? Yo, by the way, you guys, make sure 2 things. Make sure that you check me out when I'm playing FIFA. What's wrong with you guys? You seem to disappear when I'm playing FIFA. You guys should come on and support the FIFA thing. And secondly, get yourself over to this channel. Because, yeah, get yourself over. Get yourself over to this channel, right? Get over there and subscribe to the channel, guys. Give me some support. You can see the work I'm doing over there. Give me some support. You might not like the sport, but you might get to learn a little bit more about the sport and get to see other things. I've got a couple of travel videos on there as well. Get on there, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel and support, all right? Thank you. Right, so I think that's about it, really. Shaka Stevenson, yeah, that's a good fight. I think really Valdez. I think that's a good fight for Shaka Stevenson. Really good fight. Valdez, I'll never respect for what he did with PED wise. So I hope that Shaka Stevenson beats the crap out of him. Good fight. And Andre Ward would not have gotten that fight with Valdez unless he didn't think Valdez was beatable. Good fight. Good fight. Power and brawling versus boxing skills and science. Great fight. Terry from Beyond thought Ellie Scott's opponent was on Peds last night. Her engine was something else. Quite possibly. Quite possibly. Okay. Anything else before I end this short video today? Right. I think that's it from me. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been BWTM Sports. Danny, glad to be here. Jacobs. Boatsy versus Spider Richards. Boatsy should beat Spider Richards. He should beat him. If he's going anywhere in world honors, he should beat Richards. But I told you, I'm not that convincing Boatsy. Oh, good man there. Thank you so much, there. Appreciate that. Get across and subscribe to the channel. Get across there, subscribe. Check out the videos over there. It's not just cricket, but get out, see what's going on over there. And then there's a donate button over there as well. Get across, smash that donate button, and help me help those young people get more equipment and stuff. They really need it. It's tough out here. It's tough out here for them, you know. And yeah. Garcia versus Cambosis. Oh my God. Cambosis will knock Garcia out. My God. No. Garcia. Oh, let me finish on that. Garcia swapping change trainers with Joe Goosen. To me, that looks like Eddie Reynoso and Canelo came to the decision. This guy's a joker. We don't want him in our gym. He's going to make us look bad. Get him out of the gym as soon as possible. And they got rid of Ryan Garcia. That's what I think happened there. Richards do well versus Bivol will be a tough fight for Boatsy. Bivol, I think, fights the level of his opponents. Yeah. I told you, I'm not that high on Boatsy. As for Anthony Yard, that performance he put on against, what's the boy's name now? King Arthur, I was shocked at. how the thing about Ryder, I liked he put his punch together, looked devastating there. But I didn't like the way King Arthur crumbled. Like he really didn't want to be there. Don't blame him. I wouldn't want to be getting hit like Ryder in combinations. Right, let me get out of here. Again, don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments, share this video, man. Share the video, smash the like button. A lot of you are coming to this channel and not hitting the like button. Smash that like button, guys. Really appreciate it. Richard Connect Boatsy, this run all around the whiskers. That's what I said. I'm not convinced about him. And he is defensively not sound, Boatsy. So stick a tenner on that one, mate. Stick a tenner on that one. Right, I'm out of here. Love you all. Take care.